from London, his 8-year-old granddaughter. Grandad always smelled of shaving cream and cigarettes, and he always had the biggest, warmest hugs. He told the best stories ever, and I could sit on his lap and listen to him for hours. His last story that he made up before he went back to England was a fantasy story about Finn and me turning into a tiger and a cat. It made us giggle. And he used unique character voices when he read to us. Grandad was always interested in what I had to say and what Finn and I were doing. One of my favourite memories is when Grandma and I used to pretend to yawn, and it made Grandad do a real yawn over and over, which made us laugh a lot. Every second that I spent with him is a happy memory, including our special conversations on the phone, and I'll always remember my Grandad, and I will miss him a lot. But I know he's in heaven, watching me grow up. I love you, Grandad. Now Stephen wants to come and read his own tribute to his dad.
To Dad, I'm going to miss my old man greatly. Words cannot say how I feel right now. But I will try. For he was a kind, generous man in all ways of life. I will miss his moaning and his advice to me. I've lost a true friend and a mentor who can never be replaced. He enjoyed his laughter and talk in his own special way. And as he once said, give me unhealthily and he shed loads of it. I'm in for a good time, not a long time. Dad, I love you. I will miss you greatly. See you soon. Save a place for me. Love, your pain in the arse, son, Steve. See you later, mate.
There were lots of messages that came to Sue and the family, and these are some of the words of condolence that were in emails and cards. From Paul and Ellie, John was a very special person, always helping people. Ellie and I will always never forget what he did for me, for without his help with Norman, I don't know what I would have done. I know there have been many more that feel the same. He was the most generous, unselfish and caring person we've ever known. And what we liked about him was that he was very straight. He didn't just think it, he said it. You always knew where you were with John. Our lives were certainly enriched to have him in them, and we know that although in the last few years we didn't have so much contact, both of you were always in our thoughts and in lots of our conversations. The girls and Trevor send their love to you all, as do all the people that you both met here. John will always be remembered by us all as a very special friend with a big heart. It is an honour to have had him in our lives. Some people make the world a greater place to live in, and John was one of those. With love, Paul and Ellie. Michelle Peter, Jordan commented on our status. Sue, Paul and Steve, so sorry for your loss. John was a wonderfully kind and gentle man. I am honoured to have known him. You are in my thoughts. Paul and Penny Wayman. All I can say is that I have lost my best and longest friend, 30 years now, and that our thoughts go out to you all. Love and kisses. Vicky Prentice. Mooney, I just wanted to say I always enjoyed talking to you and John when we met at various parties and gigs. John always took an interest in me, James, and our girls. We will miss him. Love to you all and your family. Andrea, Dave, Natalie and Naomi. We are so saddened by the news that the world has lost such a kind and wonderful person. We feel so blessed to have had the opportunity to know John. Sharon and Joey. He touched so many of our lives and will be missed tremendously. Glynis and John Prentice. He was such a smashing bloke, and we will miss him so very, very much. Caroline and Crockett. We were so sorry to hear from Ellie about your sad news, This must be such a shock for you, having all this happen so quickly. We remember John with fondness for his wisdom, calmness, and his lovely company. I know Crockett enjoyed sharing and talking about their love of music, as of course you did. It was great to hear about all the music events you went to together and still enjoy. And Tracy Young. John was one of the nicest, funniest, sweetest, and most loving people I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. He will be missed by many. Peter, Jane and Betty. John has helped us so much over the years, making sure that Betty was safe, for which we will be forever grateful. Laura Reader. John was such a special man. I loved him and will miss him greatly. Anne Wallace. He never stopped working, always helping people out. Kay Fox Wallace. He was a proper gent. David and Marilyn. John was such a good and generous man, always offering to help others, and indeed me and Marilyn. Just look at how he has helped Gordon, Tony and Heather, Norm and Betty, and countless others. He had a great personality, a wicked sense of humour, and most of all was honest and plain speaking. He told it like it was. David and Hazel Rawlings. John was very kind and helpful to my parents, and he will be remembered as such. Finally, John and Phyllis Prentice. We consider ourselves lucky to have known John. His friendship, sense of fun, and love of music, plus his support of John's musical career, will not be forgotten. He will be missed so very much. And finally, I'm sure it's right to say that the words of this poem are true for them all, and probably for most of you here as well. We thought of you with love today, but that is nothing new. We thought about you yesterday, and days before that too. We think of you in silence. We often speak your name. All we have are memories, and your picture in a frame. Your memory is our keepsake, with which we'll never part. Although you left this earthly world, we'll keep you in our hearts.
Thank you. Isn't it good to remember? Sometimes the memories are painful, and they bring back memories to us, perhaps of things that were unhappy for us. We think of John's illness and his final days, but we think of the positive things that we've heard about in the tributes that have been paid to him. And I don't think it would be out of place in this service if we were to applaud the life of a man who meant so much to so many people. So please applaud if you feel it's right to do so. That says it all. At this part of the service, hopefully, we're going to listen for a few moments